and the jobs and things around here, they don't want to come up talking about saying something about General Mills being racist, and they know they didn't invest in many of their years of their lives down there at that company. They do not. One fella, he said, hey, I'm just trying to get up out of here. You know, they know that a lot of the racial discrimination and stuff is going on, but because they know that if they really make a stand against it, chances are they're going to not only be a target of retaliation, but they wind up getting fired. And the way the economy is right now, that people need to hold on to their job as long as often as they can, and as long as they can. So they're not going to come out and say a whole lot of stuff about, oh, well, yeah, I've been discriminated against and I'm this and that. And General Mills play that. Behind the scene, there's still a lot of racial discrimination and stuff is going on. And General Mills know that these individuals have a lot of them down there have more than 10, 20, and some of them even invested 30 years or better. And they're trying to retire, they're trying to get out of the company. I mean, you know, from working down there by getting their retirement. But General Mills will mess that up for them if they really come forth and speak out the truth. What I am bringing out to the American peoples and letting them know. General Mills is a very racist company, and they're a very retaliant company. And this is how they did me. And this settlement, fraud, deceit, they used my attorney. I was back in, I believe, June of 2006, standing in front of the federal court, complaining about my civil and constitutional rights had been violated. And my civil and constitutional right was violated then, and my civil and constitutional right has still been violated right now. And again, if General Mills is allowed to continue to get away with what they have done, even in this cause of action of mine about the settlement, fraudulent deceit, is no more than practicing and condoning legalized slavery. They can feel that they can mess over anyone, whoever they want, and then just pay certain lawyers or your own lawyer to try to deceive you into manipulating you into signing documents and things or whatever it is that would be in General Mills' favor. And then turn around and twist it and say that you voluntarily accepted and agreed to it, and that's one of the reasons, again, why my case never went to court, because I wanted to present out just what I'm presenting right now, and General Mills wanted to make sure it did not get into the court, and they had succeeded up to this point. It didn't get into the court, and when I did file suit against my former attorney, no attorney wouldn't want to represent me anymore, especially after they found out that I had filed suit against my former attorney here because of legal malpractice. Well, it makes it very difficult now for any other attorney to want to bother to represent me. And so they're alleging that, hey, you know, I settled this here in good faith and everything was fine. And, well, what is he complaining about? It was all done by fraud and deceit. Many of my witnesses, they were upset, they was angry because the attorney did not get to talk to them. They wanted to come forth not only to testify on my behalf, but also to give their own experiences of how they experienced racism down here at General Mills in the Kansas City area in the North Bottoms. This, and a lot of it is still going on, but they've just been a lot more shrewder with it. They've been a lot more shrewder with it. And like I stated earlier, a lot of the blacks that are working down there now, a lot of them, they're not going to come out and say too much about anything because they know that's their job. And a lot of them, as I stated earlier, they invested lots of the years of their lives in there. And a lot of them just simply want to try to make it to retirement and get out of there. And I can certainly understand that. And General Mills know that. So this is what went down in the settlement, fraud, and deceit. And it's not right then, and it's still not right now. And my civil and constitutional rights have still been violated, and that's again why I am still fighting against General Mills and to make this known to the media and to the public. And again, as stating, as Robert C. Dupree, I still was putting emphasis on concerning the settlement, deceit, and the fraud and stuff that was done. And I do want to let the public and the American peoples do realize that I did file an appeal in the Court of Appeal on the second judge ruling, and ruling in the favor of the defendants. Despite the evidence that was all brought out, I still fought and appealed the decision, obviously to no avail. So nevertheless, I just want to bring to the American peoples, you know, about the fraudulent criminal act and the fraud that General Mills and my former attorney at Jeffery A. Sutton was involved in, and as earlier I stated, and you know, and if General Mills is allowed to get away with this fraudulent criminal act and deceit, you know, it's just no more than just promoting and condoning legalized slavery. And see, and I also want to bring to the American peoples, you know, the only difference between back in times of old, when the original slave taskmaster owners, when they originally beat and whipped their slaves with whips and then took them and hung them, the only difference is between that and General Mills and the time that is going on right now is that General Mills is using the whip of retaliation. When peoples are standing up for their rights, General Mills will use retaliation. General Mills will use the whip of manipulation. General Mills will use the whip, say, of intimidation. And then if you continue to resist and stand up for your rights or for the rights of others, to speak out against the racial prejudice that General Mills is still allowing to go on behind the scene, well then they'll wind up being terminated. Meaning that General Mills will take them to that tree to hang them, in a sense of terminating their employment. That's what's happening now. And to even bring more insight on what I'm saying on that, I want you to also to hear, the public that is, to hear the testimony of a young lady by the name of Teresa Lucious, how that she will give her testimony and being recorded and fully aware that she was recorded, to testify how the General Mills here in 2009 had literally retaliated against her and even allowed certain employees to harass and to curse her out and to sexually harass her, and even to the point where, because she was constantly making complaints against General Mills and even had filed charges of EEOC charges and things, where General Mills gave her an ultimatum that either she bid and get out of the building department, or and to go down to the elevator department, or she's going to be terminated. And here she's standing up for her rights in spite of, but General Mills, in spite of their policies and the union allowing this to go on as well, they terminated her employment because she was retaliated against, one, for standing up for my rights when I was working back down there in 2001. She had actually went to the Commission of Human Rights with their sworn affidavits to testify against General Mills in writing that I was harassed and discriminated against because of my race, obviously black. And General Mills retaliated against her. So you can hear her own testimony and let her tell the American peoples what she had experienced.